Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of the Just My Opinion podcast. Today we are going to be reacting to two things. First, we'll be talking about Tila Tafari. She recently made this statement on Facebook. Then we are also going to be talking about Happy Day Fulan, a topic which has been buzzing in the entertainment industry for a while back. Hi, Ambassador.
Hello, people. It's your boy Ambassador again doing his thing.
Okay, so let's start off by talking about the statement from Tila. She said, Cameroon doesn't deserve me. Then of course, people are reacting and saying, when it's your time, it's your time. Some people are saying, then go to the place that deserves you. I I think Tila just dropped an album titled Je suis Bamenda, and this is publicity. That's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, same thing. So it's not probably that's what's happening.
Mm.
She has been down for a while. She's a very talented artist.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, as I've always said on this channel, artists need to sit down and listen.
Mm.
By listen, I mean listen to a business. The only job you have as an artist is to select a good manager.
Mm.
Or most of the time, even the people around you help you select a good manager. Once you are done with that, let it be in their hands. But if we don't listen, I've said this over and over again, Chakara TV, let the business minds in. So Tila has been putting out a couple of things that have not been very successful. I think she even set up some restaurant thing. The last time I checked, she was putting up a post saying that rain destroyed something destroyed something, so she closed down the restaurant. Then she released this album. Then I guess the sales were not going too well. Then she put this out. Maybe it's a business too, the challenges in the business. Maybe it's the music sales. But all put together, I think that's why she's saying that. One, saying that Cameroon does not deserve you is not going to help the matter because you're instead alienating with the few fans you had or people who are about to become your fans. Two, Etofis, Nganu, and all the others we keep on talking about are from that same Cameroon. So if Cameroon could deserve them, why does Cameroon not deserve you? Cameroon is just a reflection of our collective failures. So what do you call that Cameroon which you say does not deserve you? If we all contribute to as I mentioned, the entertainment industry, we're looking at the value chain. If there are lacunes there, it's because all of us have failed. Maybe we have instead failed Cameroon rather than thinking that Cameroon has failed us. So when she says Cameroon does not deserve her, I understand her frustration, but when it's all said and done, she needs to sit down and then try to listen and then go back to the drawing board. A number of these artists, I emphasize on this because I work with some of them and they go, oh, they know, they're hyped up. It's not the same hype which you take to get inspiration to sing music that you apply to business.
Mm.
Most of the time, business is science. There are steps to it. It's 1 + 1 is 2. There are assumptions we'll make because it's a social science, we're dealing with human beings. But even those assumptions are backed by some study, and the mitigations we put around those assumptions are based on some studies. So when we get up and do these sporadic things and then get sporadic response, we should not blame it on Cameroon. And even if we want to blame it on Cameroon, that's just blaming ourselves because we are the Cameroon. So, yeah, that's just my first take on Cameroon does not deserve you.
Yeah.
Maybe Jamaica deserves.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what she did, and I'm thinking like this is a very strategy Jovi uses. Whenever he puts something controversial online, rest assured the project is coming up shortly after that. He goes silent for a period of time, walks on the ground. Then he's about to drop something. Then he goes on Twitter and he starts ranting and saying stuff. People buzz is created around that, and people jump in for it. I was even looking in the comment section of this Tila's video. She actually shared. She was like, "While she said that while you are like reflecting on why you're doing this, go and listen to this. Listen, she put links to all of her songs that people should go and listen to. So I when I saw, yeah.
No, just some pushback on that. That worked for Jovi for a time, but the last 2 years that has not been working. That has not been working in Cameroon, and that has not succeeded to propel him into the African scene. He tried to do the same thing when he went and was poking on the Sarkodys, the MIs, the Cal de Neros. It did not really work in his favor. He was not getting any favorable reply from the bigger names he wanted. Instead, the smaller guys were taking shots at him. So it did not really work in his favor. And so all that buzz and agitation to pull traffic did not really work in the African scene. So I think some of those things, it will work. And what's one of the things when it comes to strategic documents? It should be a living document where you are assessing the success and then you are modifying and readapting your strategy to the response you are getting at each time. It should not be a one size fit all strategy. It should be something which you are assessing that every time, reevaluating the successes, and then readapting it to the realities you are facing at hand. So same thing with Tila. I don't really think a boss thing will work for her like that. It may be a strategy, but yeah, I have my doubts.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, go check out her new album. Go listen to her song, and she says Cameroon doesn't deserve her. Like you said, like this statement is definitely alienating the fan base which she already has. And I feel like there's also some people in her fan base who feel like Cameroon doesn't deserve you, Tila. You deserve to be in Nigeria or wherever. I don't know, but
does Nigeria want you?
Who knows? She's talented. So, so anyway, I wish you the best. I hope you have the attention and the listens which you seek. Let's proceed to talk about our sponsors. Then after that, we'll talk about Happy Day Fulan
and his boxing career. Okay, so Echo.online. It's a platform which is here to democratize the playing field for African artists. Tila, you can as well come and put your song on Echo.online. Echo.online is one of those platforms which are there to help the African artists monetize their art. What do I mean by monetize your art? The first step is to create your profile on Echo.online. You share with your fans and ask them to follow you on Echo.online. Once you have harnessed all of that energy on one platform, now you can start monetizing your art. By monetizing your art, I mean you release your albums, all of them get links to it. They get reminders that you have put out something. They buy the song directly. You get your money, your mobile money app. Also, there are lots of other services which are being proposed around your music, like selling merchandise, organizing events and selling tickets, artist booking, all of those things. Some of them are still under construction. Some of them are already existing on Echo.online. Echo.online is here to make sure that the artists can take their career into their hand. And then, like some of the stations we are mentioning, once you have money, some of those things you can run it by yourself. What do I mean by that? Put your song on Echo.online, you have 100 francs, you sell it at 1,000 francs, you have 100,000 francs, you reinvest in your career, record maybe 2 more songs, push it out again on Echo.online, sell this time for 200,000, reinvest it again, and that's how your fan base is growing, and it's translating directly into your financial strength, which you could invest and then make your career grow organically. Now, some of the challenges people face is that some of the sites which we have are not adapted to the African reality, like the titles on iTunes. One, most of your fans, 10% of your fans might be on Tidal and iTunes, especially those in the diaspora. Other 90% are in Africa, no means to purchase your sites. Even if they get on this site, they don't have the payment methods to pay and buy things on those sites. So Echo.online, using mobile money, as we say, the power is in your hand. You buy directly and then cash out or pull out your money directly using mobile money and then reinvest in your career. As they say in Pidgin, time no day. So there's no time to be calling somebody to pick the money up for you, send it to you. That's time which you will be focusing on your music. With Echo.online, you get all of those things done and then reinvest it in your career. I usually tell people a lot of these features are under construction But don't wait till the site is big and there are people there with heavy investments and they're now in control of the site. Those who jumped on YouTube early enough became millionaires just off, I'm talking millionaires in dollars, off YouTube because they got the best customer service and got the best endorsement deals. So get on Echo Online, familiarize yourself with it, pull all your fans to the site so you could start building a community and then hence you could monetize off that community. Share your success story with us. Try to get in contact with the management. If you need help with that, contact Chakara TV just in the comment section. We're going to help you out with that. So jump on Echo.online. As usual, I say, time no day, the power is in your hand. Echo.online, get it on Play Store, share your success with us. Maybe the money too.
Definitely. Yeah, so let's proceed to talk about Happy the Fulan. So Happy the Fulan, this is an artist who he has several songs which have been trending for a while. He has had several collaborations. Very promising, very talented artist. So we have Better Things saying another artist label and producer Wahala, Cameroonian artist Happy the Fulan has been on the news as he accuses his producer of harassment, maltreatment. So then we also have Next Dem Empire saying Happy the Fulan accuses his executive producer of beating him constantly. The National Gendarmerie is probing into a conflict between Cameroonian artist Happy the Fulan and his executive producer Serge Nkodu. Following reports on Canal Day, Happy the Fulan stated that he suffers frequent physical assaults, kidnappings, and harassment from his boss. He stated that he was kidnapped and taken to his producer's village where he received 25 punches. Okay. His executive producer has reacted by saying the accusations are unfounded. He took Happy to his village with his family's consent because he needed to be confined somewhere to stay away from drug addiction. My producer beat me 3 times. I didn't react, and the 4th time I decided to leave, not to work with him. He took me to his village. They gave me 25 punches. It was like a kidnapping. Happy the Fulan told Canal Day. Happy the Fulan's relative, said he is mentally sequestered because he suffers violence at all times, assaults, kidnapping, and harassment. His producer said it's all false. I will never beat him nor kidnap him. It is in my level and I have my way of working. He is not my friend, he's a kid. I was trying to help him after knowing he's addicted to drugs. These accusations are framed and false. I am even going to file a complaint against all these people. Other rumors will, like homosexuality and not respecting the clauses of the contract, must be clear. He went to the village with the consent of his family and I. This was a few days after taking him to Jamo Hospital didn't work. So we have other news reports saying similar things, talking about Hafi the Fulan and his management. Then let's first react to this before we come back and react to this statement by Bayong Yamache. So I thought it was really interesting. So, Ambassador, what are your thoughts on all of this?
So, like one of the blogs started, another artist management level. That's the story of Cameroon. A week does not go by that we don't have somebody either confessing or blowing out. But this one was really funny because it sounded like a movie, right? First, he said it was kidnapping. Then it was 25 punches. And I was wondering, like, so were they punching him? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, or were they giving him in installments, like 5 in the morning, 5 in the evening, 5? I don't know how he counted that accurately, the number of punches. Okay, jokes aside, I can very well picture this scenario. Not trying to take sides, but it's obvious that he has drug issues from what firsthand or people beside him are saying, and the way you even see him when in videos and pictures. So when somebody's addicted, at times it becomes very difficult to work with them and to free them from the drugs. And at times it could even become physical because you are so frustrated, like, this kid has so much talent, how can I save him from himself? At times he's trying to fight back. If you have gone to some of those, how do they call those homes where they take people who have drug issues? Rehab homes or therapy homes or whatever. Rehab, I think rehab, yeah. It borderline gets almost inhumane treatment where you see at times you tie somebody's hands and legs, he's crying, he's puking because his body is rejecting food, whatever, whatever. It looks crazy, but that's the only thing they can do to save him from himself. So when we're talking about drug issues, it is sensitive because we have seen people like Amy Winehouse. Some people are saying take her to rehab. Some people say no, she's fine. Her father wants to do this until at the end of the day she dies. Everybody's like, oh, whoa, where, blah, blah, blah. But she has died. And most of the time, things like this, I'll just want his family to handle it because they stand the most to lose if he's not there tomorrow. After himself is his family. So if he can no longer help himself, I expect his family to do the best. Because, as I said, these are very sensitive issues, and if people don't really have his best interests at heart, come and be talking about why did they catch him, why did they kidnap him. As a drug addict, he's going to say anything now just to free himself or look good in the eyes of the public. But having the back of my mind, this somebody who's addicted who is talking. Also, if you have been in such a situation, it's very tough. You are not happy to see your loved one go through that kind of inhumane treatment, like maybe that tying up his hands and legs, he's puking, he's crying, he needs help. But all what he needs is some of that is drug. As soon as you feel that's where he's going to, his brain's not the same. That's not really your relative. That's not really the person you love. That's not really the star we know. That's somebody who is now possessed by something else. So when I look at the whole situation, it's sad. But also, in the bigger scheme of things, he's not the only one suffering from these things. I just also think that these are some of the instances where the whole music community or all those strong advocates of Cameroon has an industry. This is where they should show that Cameroon has an industry. There should be some support system for artists like this. Things like this happen. It happens when artists have their low times, they fall and whatever. I've seen Malox come and do a live where he said he helped the guy to secure 10 million and all of those things. Yeah, but that's an individual, that's not an institution, that's not a structure. If the music industry had something to cater for artists who fall along the way, something should have come up for this guy. It's very frequent with artists to have drug issues like this. And so those are some of the first, should I call it first aid things that should be put in place if we actually have a music industry to help out artists who fall in this kind of situation. So when it's all said and done, one, I would say his family should give given an upper hand and the final say what happens to him. Not the manager, not his friends, definitely not social media. And then on the other hand, secondly, the music industry in code, or at least the artist community, or in Gasha's where the market people should maybe come together and then see what they could do to help out. But I don't necessarily mean money, At times, the personal attention and the media, I mean, like every artist in the next 1 week who does an interview should talk about Happy Day Fulan. It's going to maybe call the government's attention to do something about it. Every artist who's around Yaoundé should try to check on him. Where is he? They should not, because things like this happen where 1 week, social media is very, very inhumane. I don't even expect it to be humane because it's not even a person. They'll talk about you for 1 week and you feel like they're so concerned. And as soon as the next first topic comes up, they jump to that topic and you're wondering like, whoa, this guy is still here, he's still suffering. What happened to all the concern and all the pastors and preachers who were on Facebook that moved to the next topic? So people should not let the topic die down, because if they let it die down, we might only come 5 years down the line and somebody's doing a video. What happened to the artist Happy Day? He's now here, and then now it was like, oh, where? But this is where we lost it. This is where we lost the plot, when we forgot about him. So I think first his family, then the music industry should try to do something about it.
Yeah, like you said, like Nyango the Sud has come out to send a message. He has sent a message to Cameroonian youth as a whole. Malox has spoken, And it's a very sad situation because this story, like you said, it has repeated itself over and over again. Really talented individuals going down this path of drugs and drug addiction. Like the mindset of a drug addict is it's not it's not right. And a lot of times, like you said, there are a lot of inhumane things that are done to get I remember there was this artist I cannot remember his name, but he was in Boya where he was a drug addict, and he passed away because his family beat him up until he had to rush to the hospital. I don't know if you heard of that story.
No.
There was a story like that at one point in time. So there are situations like this that happen, and sometimes it gets too late, and then that's when people are like, where, and like you said, social media is not kind. Social media is nobody's relatives or nobody's friend. Everybody is just looking at this and entertained, some laughing about this because there's a part of the story which is funny. People laugh about this, people talk about this, the hype. Once the next thing comes on, people jump and forget about it. The people who are going to lose is people who are going to feel the hurt. It's his family, and like other artists, like you said, they need to band together and do something because it could happen to any of them. And we have heard this story over and over again. And Happy Defulan is a really talented individual. And as we're talking, I was just going through his Instagram page and I was just looking at his upcoming projects and stuff. And yeah, hopefully he's able to get the help he needs. I wanted to read this, so it's a very lengthy post. I just want to read it. We might briefly talk about it before we round up. So it says, Cameroonians are double standard, the case of Happy Defulan. I have been following up the recent happening with Happy Defulan and was really marveled by what some people say and think. For the past years, Happy has had a serious career recession due to delinquency. I recently learned drugs have also been playing a grand role in impeding his career. Recently, there has been a very great scandal between him and his producer Nkudu considering some absurd media outings by Happy, who claimed he is being maltreated, brutalized and kidnapped. The producer made a press release on his official page castigating Happy, stating unequivocally that Happy is a terrible drug addict. Cameroonians are quick to draw a conclusion that the producer is bad, evil, explosive and doesn't play his role properly as a producer and a parent. Some say he was supposed to protect the artist's image by not exposing his weaknesses to the world and even play more of a parental role in Happy's life by educating, guiding, and helping to cure his mental state without raising any dust. Tons of criticism and insults have been rained on him. I listened to the producer, and one of his explanations caught my attention. Nkudu, the producer, explained that Happy is a terrible drug addict that sometimes loses his mental state of mind. He has therefore taken Happy to a psychiatric hospital, but the results were not favorable. In agreement with Happy's family, he decided to relocate the lad to the village for the purpose of detoxification and rehabilitation. He also mentioned that Happy's mental state was deteriorating to the extent that he had already started wandering and vagabonding from one home or quarter to another consuming drugs. He therefore wanted to take the star out of the city in order to protect the star's image. Guess what Happy said on TV during an interview? Happy said he was being kidnapped. Sadly, Cameroonians, especially celebrities, have been attacking and bad-mouthing the producer. Let me ask this question. Have you ever tried to control or work with a delinquent drug addict that also suffers from mental imbalance? What do you think a drug addict will say if you try to quarantine him? I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm like, people are coming at the producer. And the person who raised the dust was Happy when he took it to the TV. It's not like it's the producer who first came out, if I'm not mistaken. The sequence of events was Happy made a statement on TV, and then the producer had to defend himself. So prior to this, the producer was trying to deal with it behind the scene, even taking him away from the city, so he should not be moving around the place and people should not notice. So I'm like, people are blaming him and saying he should have done this, It's crazy.
So for me, as usual, as I said, people will say what they want to say based on their own angles, based on their own interests. These are some of the things where I always say our industry is lacking. There's no artist development, there's no accompaniment of artists. Like in the NBA now, when young basketballers sign contracts, they start teaching them how to invest their money. They actually go through courses on how to invest. So you don't expect, like, there's this guy now who's having issues like Ja Morant. money is a very strong thing. Not only the money in itself, but the people around you, the impact money has to people. You take a young man who was maybe having 100,000 francs, you give him 10 million francs. That money is going to destabilize him. If he had had some artist development and then there was some accompanying structure on like, take 10 million, you have 10 million, but just keep 1 million for yourself, 9 million, we're going to invest it for you like this, like this, like that. Teach him how to invest. He's preparing his mind for that 10 million. Down the line, as he's getting older, then he's moving into possession of more of that money. But when people, because their interest is just their money, and it happens to artists all the time, and nobody is there to put in place a system to protect the artist. One, you give him maybe 8 million, you take 2 million, you don't care what he does with 8 million. I was listening, Malok was saying he was buying Caillou, which is a very strong chemical kind of drug thing, for 100,000 francs. It's crazy. That's something which can even kill somebody if you take it in a very irresponsible way. So I'm like, there is nobody to follow up the artist. Like what I'm calling artist development. Those are things that are in an industry. There's nobody to like. I usually talk when we're talking about Don Jazzy, and I was saying Don Jazzy has artists that he can release from now to 2030. But why are they not out? They are still going through artist development. They are still in the incubator being, should I call it, nurtured and then educated and then prepared for the buzz and the impact that will come with that thing. Because he knows that talented, that's why I selected them. But you need to, as you say in French, cadre them for some time. And even when they blow up, you have to accompany them. Like I remember I was watching an interview, I was saying, he has many artists who are blowing up, but some of his biggest and most securities who are a star right now. Because she's a young girl, she's blowing up. So the person who, like a Rema who's already used to fame, might not need as much security, although he's bigger than Arya I'm just putting bigger in code. Yeah, he should be bigger than Arya because of the consistency out there. He's bigger than Arya but might not need as much security as Arya So all of those things, when you really have the interest of the artists at heart, you put in place to accompany them so that they don't just blow up for 1 year, fall for the next 20 years, but they grow progressively and organically for the next 30 years. Those are some of the things when we say we have an industry, As usual, I say it's because you don't know what an industry should look like. That's why you feel that you guys really have an industry. But some of these things are just the consequences of the wild, wild west. Everybody on their own, survival for the fittest.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the producer, he did what he could.
The best he could.
Yeah,
but if you are realistic in that kind of thing, the artist has money, his family wants his money, everybody's talking in his ear, he thinks he's right. And what can the producer do? You are limited to an extent. You even take him to the village. Why are you even taking him to your that's a very family gesture to make, to take him to your village, to try to protect him. It still looks like you're kidnapping him.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, there are a lot of things that have been said, and I hope this is not just one of the cases where people talk, which it might be. People just talk online, people rant, people share their opinions, people blame this person, and nothing concrete is actually being done to stop this from happening or going south. Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Share your opinions, and thumbs up to this video if you enjoy our content. Subscribe to our channel, and see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.